Hello there and welcome. I've been asked by a few people in the past, and I thought I'd finally make a video on kind of where my podcast journey and then streaming journey has gone and what I kind of did as my first few steps into it, and just how you don't want to break the bank because you're just starting out in the hobby and you don't know if it's something you want to just dive headlong into or if it's something that you just want to kind of work at on the side. And so I'm going to go through the steps that I did when I first got into this in late 2017 and have been working on upgrading and just kind of adding as I go and kind of the mistakes I came across and learned when I first started out. So the first thing that I sought out was a good microphone, and now that we're in the age of pretty good technology, streaming and podcasting is everywhere. You can't throw a rock without hitting someone that has a podcast or a stream. And so when I did my shopping around, I came across a company called Blue, and they have quite a few tiers to getting into podcasting and recording. The one I have pictured here is the Blue Snowball, and I actually ended up getting two of those, one for myself and one for my guest, and I kind of sat us a distance apart and would connect both into my recording equipment and my laptop that I had purchased for doing the podcast. And that was the simple beginnings of this. I bought some pop filters to kind of put in front to kind of help with the sound. I don't know, I just kind of wanted to make the sound as good as I could, and so I bought some pop filters. Later on I bought some arms for it to connect to some tables so people could kind of sit more relaxed. But out of the gates, what is on the screen is exactly what I started with. Some Blue Snowballs on a little tripod, and then they also have higher up models like the Yeti and that you can build up or invest as much as you want and kind of get what you want out of it. And so this is what I started with, was two of these, and I'm talking into one right now and still find the quality is great for a startup of under $100 a microphone. So I think they're fantastic. The next thing I kind of sought out was you need, or at least I thought you needed from what I was doing my research, was some kind of a soundboard. So the next thing that I found, which is 100% free, you can donate to them if you want, and they have many different versions of this depending on how many microphones you want to use and how detailed you want to get. And this is called Voicemeeter, Meeter if you're looking it up. I'll leave links to all these sites down below also. Voicemeeter is fantastic. As you can see on the screen, on the left, there's two bars, and those are pretty much the two microphone inputs. So for myself, this version was perfect. A microphone for myself, a microphone for my guest. Lead them both in. The third column is in case you wanted to have like audio from your laptop or music playing, or wanted to input other sound from another source. You could put that in, and that's all I needed and still probably need. I've added a third microphone to my podcast recently, but I've been running off this base model of Voicemeeter for almost 2.5 years, and then it kind of brings it all into one source, and then you feed that out to your recording software, which I'll show next. And they even have a virtual line that you can install also that kind of helps with reducing noise and sound, I found also. So it has a better crisp, clean, kind of no interference sound. And when you look at those red dots that are kind of on the left, you can mess around with that and you can kind of add whether you want more echo or bass. You can kind of fine tune how you want yourself to sound. And I found that was really great for just fine tuning and making things sound really nice and professional for the investment that I had made. The next step I had was I needed a recording program. So then I got a program called Audacity, and it also is 100% free. All you have to do is click where you're recording from. So I would say it's coming from Voicemeeter. It would come into there, and the second you hit the red button, it just starts recording. You can see things are working because it has the little visual sound waves recording, and it kind of takes everything that Voicemeeter feeds into it from your 1, 2, 3, however many microphones you have going, and it brings it into this. And then also, now that you're in Audacity, you can use this. Like, I had one podcast with somebody who was under an NDA, and so after the fact, he was like, that hasn't been released yet. I need you to take out what I was talking about. So I was able to kind of go in there and pull out snippets of what I like, what I don't like, and kind of edit it down. And if there was ever something that needs removing, it's great editing software after the fact too. And it lets you save it into all the different audio formats, MP3, WAV, whatever you want to use. And it's super handy. And that was what I used to do my recording. And then the final piece that kind of comes up is, who do you want to use to host your podcast? And so after doing some looking around, I came up with and started using SoundCloud. They even offer, if you just sign up, you get so many, I can't remember if it's megabytes or minutes that you get for just signing up to host, but it wasn't very long. I think I filled it up in a podcast and a half, but their rates are super reasonable. I think I pay $15-16 a month, and that's for unlimited. And it houses my podcast, and I put it up on the screen here. You literally just need to sign in, take your file and drag and drop it on that. And then you get to pick kind of what you want to put for the image for the specific episode, name it, and it uploads it. It kind of publishes it for you. And then from here, they'll house all of them for you. And if that's the only place you want to host it from, that's fantastic. But they also provide you with an RSS feed code that I used, and then I was able to get my podcast up on all the major platforms. I'm on Stitcher, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Google Play, and I'm even on iTunes. And even the application process to even get your podcast onto all those platforms was a lot easier than I thought. I think Google Play was like a 3-day wait. Other than that, my podcast was up pretty fast with SoundCloud absolutely just hosting everything for me. And I just have to drag in, drop. It even lets you categorize it, so you can say whether you're comedy or history or what kind of your niche is. And it does all the work for you. It's fantastic. And for $15 a month, I think I have between 20 and 30 podcasts up there now, ranging from 15 minutes to over 3 hours, depending on the conversation length and the topic. And they've been nothing but great. And then there's even a section where you can go in and look at all kinds of statistics down to like what country, what city is listening to you. And it's kind of nice because even to the point where you can see where you've developed listeners who are coming back, you can see, oh, that guy from that city is listening to me again, or that person, I guess. And it's kind of neat to see the reach you have. And I have never had a problem with SoundCloud. There might be other services out there, but this is the one that I kind of did a little research, found them, and they've been fantastic. And I know they have a system already working on monetizing musicians who use them to house their music. And I think it's in the works to have podcasts gain monetization through that also. So that's kind of the steps I took to get up and running. I've been doing it for 2.5 years now, and this was the setup I got out of the gates, and I've pretty much haven't fine-tuned it a lot. I may have grabbed a nicer version of Voicemeeter to add microphones and to add a few more fine-tuning for the sound quality and like that. But other than that, this is what I started with after doing a little research, and it's kind of what I've stuck with. Like, it's worked great for me, and depending on how much you have to invest in this is a good first step. That the majority of this isn't super expensive, and it's pretty easy to learn. There's a lot of YouTube resources out there that teach you how to use all these programs, but they're not super hard to learn and get the grasp of right away. I'll leave links to everything down below, and let me know what you thought of this, and I'll talk to you later.